See, let's say I got 7. I got, yeah, 5 plus 2. Got 7 done, 24 total. Got a little bit that's going to stay out in rye. Oh yeah, we ought to go back there and take a look at that. I put that fertilizer on it, and let's see if it's greened up any or thickened up any. Yeah, let's ride back there, y'all. This is that little small triangle shaped area where I put the fertilizer out on the rye, and tremendous improvement. I walk out here in it now. The rows have thickened up, greened up a lot. And what I put out here was just 10, 10, 10. Not an expensive fertilizer. It was a quick release, but it's definitely done some good here. Yeah, fertilizer is good stuff. Yeah, this is going to thicken on up and go away from here. All right, that's good progress on this. Well pleased. So over here, last time we were out here, these ruts were still full of water. This is what happens when you got to get your beans off wet land. You make ruts, and we just continued to have rain, and more rain. So these ruts are still full of water, and as long as they're full of water like that, ain't no way I can get in here and start trying to fix it. I mean, fixing it is easy, but you need some dry ground to fix. You can take the disc and take over that, and you can get that smoothed right back out. Won't be a problem. Of course, there's quite a few spots like this here on the farm because of, wet weather. But let's walk up here and take a look at this spot. Okay, this area was the area that just got totally devastated by the nematode problem I had. It's been here years, but it finally, got totally out of control this past year. Norfolk King glyphosate beans is what I'd been using, and they've got a real high nematode resistance. So this problem area never really showed up. The credenza, which is the Liberty Link bean, 0 nematode resistance. Actually a 3 was the rating number, but they just didn't do. This whole spot died out. But fertilizer showing up in here. It's looking really good. I'm going to let this lay out this year, let this rye come up and get thick. And I want to experiment with, once the rye gets on up 10, 12 inches tall, what would happen if I mowed it, just nipped off the tops of it? Would it make it, give it a growth spurt? Don't know a lot about rye. I've grown it a couple of times, but I just let it grow. It would get up about waist high and then make seed. But this could be interesting. It'd be interesting to see if I could actually let this make seed and then harvest the seed with the combine, bag it up and save it to plant some more rye again later. Okay, over here on this 2-acre piece down here on the poor side of the land, you can tell that dirt's red. It's clay. It's red clay mostly. There's just not any good topsoil on it. But that fertilizer did something. I can see the rye is green and still growing, not dead. So I'm calling that a huge, huge success. Now, cousin, I don't think I can walk in this. It's soft. Cousin double sowed it in on this spot, which was perfect. He had it going up and down that way, and then he had seed left over after he finished the field, so he came back to this spot. You can see the rows running away from me like that. But to get something coming up and growing in this red clay, red dirt, is awesome. Now we get up here. Let me get out of this. I'm gonna mess up my shoes. All right, to get out of this, walk on up the hill here a little bit. You can see it starting to get out of the red and turn into sand. This field is just a multitude of different kinds of dirt. But as we get up here in the sand, about right here is where it changes over. You can see it's starting to green up, thicken up a little bit. I don't know if I can walk out here. Yeah, just a little more solid. And see the rows starting to come in better. Yeah, looking a whole lot better. That fertilizer was what this needed. It needed that bad. In fact, I'm thinking, come back out here. See, today's Valentine's Day, February 14th. probably come back here around March 14th and hit it with another dose of that 10-10-10. That stuff was cheap. It was like, I think it was $12 a bag. But looking back down that way at that red spot, I can see the rose in it. I would dearly love to get that rye to thicken up and do well in there. All right, down here at this far end of this little field, this rye is gorgeous. It's already thickened up to the point that you can't really see the rose anymore. But I did hit this with the last little bit of the fertilizer I had on the hopper when I came through here. And it's looking really good. I wish I had a farm that had this kind of dirt. The dirt down at this end of the field is black. It's rich. It'll make some beans. I was, let's see, 2018 when we were slugging through the mud, we just aborted and didn't pick the beans off of this. I bet they would have been the equivalent of 50 bushels to the acre. They were thick, they were pretty, but you can't pick them if your combine's stuck in the mud, so that's the name of that story. This field right here is long and narrow, but it measures out right at 2 acres. I managed to get over here that next morning and run over this with the Ford 4000 and the John Deere BW, just lightly cutting on it to knock the bean stubble down and cut up the bean stubble, the surface stubble and refuge. But I'm real pleased that I did not cut it deep, because we had that 4.5 inches of rain the very next day after I finished this. And if I had cut this land up deep, water coming down off of that hill up there would have hit this corner and washed a bunch of dirt right out in there. But it didn't do that. This was the first location that Cousin got stuck in with the 3300. I had to go to work at the cigar shop that day, so he ended up out here picking this field of beans, and he started right here on this low corner and got right there and got stuck, but he got it out. Okay, right here he was pulling up a hill. I can tell what he was doing here. He was getting his headland opened up so he'd have plenty of room to turn around. This he didn't actually get stuck. He managed to pull on through it, but left some pretty decent ruts right in here to be fixed. And then as you can see right here, there's some ruts there. It's got water standing in it. Yeah, it rained a bunch here yesterday, but this is easy enough to fix. I believe just pulling a disc across here will straighten this out. But you see a bunch of water standing in here, and there's no way to get in here and mess with it, because I just stepped into a spot here where my feet are sinking into the mud. So let's get out of here. Yeah, that ride down there looks really good. I like that. This camera doesn't have a zoom on it, so I can't really zoom you in and give you a good picture, but it looks good from up here. Well, I climbed up on top of the barn. I'll show you why in a minute, but I just thought I'd check out the view of that 5-acre field from up here. Looks like that. Whew. Well, little tractor down there looks like a little toy. Reason I'm up here, pine tree. Limbs hanging out over the tin roof. Pine straw. I left it laying up here too long some years ago. Held moisture in it and rusted my tin. So I'm up here with the steel leaf blower to blow this pine straw off this roof so that I don't have a rusted out roof. Alright, let's get it done. Okay, that gets the pine straw off of the roof. You can see that spot where it rusted, and I let it lay on there too long. Just didn't think about it accumulating up here like that. But I think I need to go get that Cool Seal product and just come up here and paint this. This roof's 20 years old. If I get another 20 years out of it, let's see. I'm 62, that would make me 82. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So it's worth doing. So far I got no leaks in this. I got an aggravating leak. This roof I got the right slope on so the water runs off of it. But the roof down here on that shelter part there, I didn't put enough slope on that. So I got a few little leaky spots that I've been patching. I have to patch it about every year to keep it from leaking. But anyhow, the view from up here is nice. We could pretend like this is my drone footage. I make some kind of little buzzing noise for the drone motors. Of course, people play music and drown that out. But I like the view from up here. Well, if you see this video footage, that means I successfully climbed down and didn't get hurt and didn't have to go to the hospital. It's a little tricky with a short step ladder. Like that right there is what I got. All right. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.